Hello, everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence, where we believe everyone can achieve or earn success. Today, I'm going to be having a conversation with Mr. Remi Adetunmbi. We're going to be talking about buying land in an informal economy, risks and opportunities. The informal economy is a part of the economy that is not taxed and also that is not under the control of any form of government. In developing countries, the informal sector is more than the formal sector. Take, for example, in Nigeria, the informal sector has been said to be about 65%. And a lot of people transact, in the informal sector. What we are talking about today, buying land. A lot of people want to build their own house. They won't go through the bank. They are going to go, or they're not going to go through a real estate agent. When they want to buy land, they go through the people we call, so for example, in Nigeria, Omo-oniles, and they buy the land from such people. That's an example of an informal economy. I'm really interested in this topic because there was a time I missed an opportunity to buy a land in Nigeria. Then I missed the opportunity to buy land then at 40,000 naira. That was about 15 years ago. And also, but I also know that there are a lot of risks too. But there was a time my brother and I bought a land for 900,000, 2 plots of land for 900,000 from a company. Obviously, they bought it also from Omo-oniles. But after some time, they came back to us and they told us that they had a problem with Omo-oniles. And till today, we've not been able to get our money back. So it's very, very important for people to be aware about the risks and the opportunities involved with buying land in an informal sector, for example, in Nigeria. So I'm excited to be speaking to someone I know very well and someone I know that is in that space. So without wasting time, let's get started. So the first question I'm going to be asking is from my guest, Mr. Remi Adetunmbi. Can you tell us about yourself? My viewers would like to know more about you.
Okay. Hi, Tosin, Dr. Tosin. Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. My name is Remi Adetunmbi. I'm the CEO of Cover Building Services Limited. It's a real estate company with a vision to deliver value for money and in taste and with integrity as well. So I also privileged, I started this company about 12 years back. And we've done a couple of projects, both for real estate projects, both for individuals, some commercial properties as well, and also about two estate projects, 2 built estate projects. So, and we are still in business. And also, I had some stints. Okay, it's a good stint. I won't call it some stints because that's about 12 years experience in the telecoms industry as well. And I graduated from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Ondo State, Nigeria.
Thanks so much for that. I want to ask you this question. Like you rightly said, you studied geophysics from, Futa, where I also graduated from. And you've also gone into telecommunication. You have several years of experience. So the question I want to ask, why and how did you get into real estate?
Okay. Well, my response to that question would be a very long one, or would have been a very long one, but I'll make it short. So I don't take so much of our viewers' time. Okay, somehow I perceived from school that I was going to be into business and be involved with ministry in terms of church and humanity. So I had those clear clarity about what I was supposed to do after. So when I graduated, I didn't even print a CV for about 1.5 years. The first thing I printed was a business card, though it wasn't real estate I was doing then. So along the line, I got into the telecoms industry. So after a few years, uh, we wanted to buy a property for my family in Lagos, and then we had a very slim budget. I I was searching for property all around Lagos. So that prompted us to be buying this property magazine, a very popular property magazine in Lagos. So we got so devoted that if I miss the week, or my wife will call me and ask if I've already bought it. So we kept buying every week. And interestingly, we bought that for almost 2 years because I was looking for a super deal. Though I was to realize later that the deals are always off the shelves. So in those 2 years period, I kept reading line for line of those property adverts. I didn't know that I already got myself trained. So what I realized in the in the process was that people will ask me about property, or they will seek property information, in my office, and then I'll give them first hand. They ask for contact, I'll give them contact. So I did that for another 2 years. I was having fun. I was enjoying myself because I just thought I was helping people to get things done. And I did have a lot of people coming, and sometimes I even go out to inspect to make sure that everything goes well, free of charge. I never thought it as a business. So the business I was doing before was related to telecoms. So I was working just a little, not different from what my company was doing anyway. My company was a mainstream multinational company. So I was just doing some sales by the side. So at some point, I started feeling like I needed to do something else because I knew an entrepreneur in my heart, and I wouldn't be doing this for a very long time. So I was seeking the face of the Lord, and then eventually I got an answer, and and it made me understand that you're already doing a business. The only difference is that you are not charging people for it. And I was like, what business is that? And it made me understand that you've been doing these real estate services for people free of charge for about 2 years now. So I think that is the business you should do. At that time, I already knew a lot of agents in the business. So I was even a bit shy to tell some of them that I want to go into this business. But eventually, I walked up to one I felt I could trust, and he encouraged me, told me how good the business was and everything. So I said, okay, thank you. So I went on, but I wasn't interested in doing the agency side of the business, though later we incorporated into one of our services. So, but I sought further clarity, and based on my interest, so I decided to go majorly into developing mini estates, especially from rural or developing or yet yet to be developed areas. So that was my area of interest, and that's how in another 1 year or two, I started the first estate project in Ogun State. So
Powerful,
thank
powerful.
you.
Interesting. I really learned a lot of things from you about your passion to go into business, even when you were in the university and when you graduated. You didn't even plan to look for a job. You were thinking about starting something. I mean, a lot of young people can learn from that, especially in Africa where we have a lot of young people jobless. They can always think about what they can do. They can always look for a way of finding, solutions to problems. And from there, they
Exactly.
can begin to earn some money. You know,
Yes.
in Lagos, uh, buying property, or even in Nigeria, people usually buy property from, or land, let me say land. They buy land from Omo-oniles, We call them
Yes.
Omo-oniles, it's common in Lagos. And I think that's the most popular way a lot of people buy their land. Or maybe at the end of the day, people can also buy from someone that bought from Omo-oniles. So I want to ask you this question. Number one, who are Omo-oniles? And another question is that how can you ensure that you won't have future problems if you buy from them?
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be straightforward. So we don't talk too much about your money less. They are the traditional or customary owners of the land, and the land they actually have the right to sell are the lands that the government has ceded for them as recognizing their customary rights over the land. So they are like, they should have an history, maybe from their grandparents or further, that they actually own that land. Maybe probably being the first settlers, or they bought it, or they had always, or the family had always used the land for their personal use, and now it's time to dispose of it for other greater value. So they are the customary owners of the land. Now, the way to avoid having problems with Omo-oniles, I will answer that question from two perspectives. Firstly, if you are buying a single land, or say one plot to less than 6 plots of land, that's less than an acre of land, or if you want to buy, the second perspective is if you want to buy a massive land, maybe you want to go into commercial development for an industry, or for a farm, or for an estate project. So the approach is similar. Both of them have a common approach, which is due diligence. You must do your due diligence. But I'll just give a few tips for when you buy single plots of land to less than 6 plots of land, or as much as an individual can afford to buy at that point in time. I'll just give you some tips about that. So the first thing is, if you want to buy a single land, that's for your own personal use, you have to inspect the land. So you have to go there, inspect the land. When you get there, you should request for the survey. The survey shows you the coordinates of that land. If most Omo-onile lands do not have, by Omo-onile will mean the traditional customary owners of the land. Most of them do not have title documents for their lands, especially even the survey. So they may not be able to provide the survey that actually shows you the coordinates that you need, because you need those coordinates or the survey to be able to chart that land. By charting, I mean to verify and know the status of that land with the government, because you have to go to the Ministry of Lands and check to confirm the status of the land, whether that land is free from government acquisition, or whether if it is not free, you need to find out whether the land is ratifiable. That is, if government will permit you to do documents on it or not, or if the land is committed. If it is committed, that means that you cannot process any document on that land, and it's probably been earmarked for a government scheme or project in the future. So you have to steer clear of that land when you see the status committed from it. So advisably, you can always start your process with having a surveyor by your side, or an experienced agent, or if you also have your own GPS that can capture coordinates for you, you can do that as well. So once you've passed those 3 stages, the next thing is to fix another date that you are going to actually make the payment. And along with the payment, you must be prepared to take possession of that particular plot of land, or plots of land. You must be prepared to take possession. By taking possession, I mean you could do something as basic as creating like 3 or 4 level of fencing around the 4 edges of your piece of land. And then after that, I will advise that you come back within a week or 2 weeks or monthly as you can, but preferably within a week to 2 weeks to come and clear the land and probably put some materials on the land. That is, so you can send a message that ownership has changed on this portion of land to everyone around. Going to the second step, I would just like to add that one other way you can do your verification before you proceed to the point of buying is to go back to that neighborhood and try to find out and verify the ownership of that land, the original landowners or customary owners that we refer to as Omo-oniles in Lagos. So you have to find out from people staying in that area. They can give you valuable information as well. So that's for the single one. The second one, that's when you're buying the massive large expanse of land. Is similar to that because you also have to do your due diligence as well. The only thing is just that in this case, you are investing more and you shouldn't hesitate. Even for the first one, I will always recommend that if you are dealing with an agent that is not experienced with land matters, use the services of lawyers or surveyors. Just ensure that there are people that you can trust and to get everything done properly for you. So the same thing applies to a big land. The same thing applies. You have to gather more facts, as much facts as you can gather, both from the community, from people that live around, and also make sure you have your coordinates plotted. For most big lands, most Omo-oniles or the customary owners do not have title documents for those lands. So you have to get the survey on your own, chart it. You won't mind the cost that you have to spend. Some of the projects we have done, or even some we backed out from, we did because we had proper information on the status of the land. And that's why our clients, even after 7, 8 years, they have their lands intact as well, because we do a lot of due diligence before we engage we go part with our money, buying the land and then further bringing in customers to do same. So those would be my recommendations, to ensure that you don't have problems. And then lastly, for both of the two perspectives, since most of them do not have documents, I'll recommend that once you take possession, then you start the process of perfecting your documents with the government, so that and you let them be in the know that you are already perfecting your documents with the government as well. So in case someone else's goes there and the person follows due diligence to chart the land, to have the coordinates, once you have registered it properly with the Ministry of Lands, once the person gets there, they will be able to tell the person that this land is already is registered under for someone.
Perfect. Thank you so much, for your response, very detailed, and what I'm going to take from there is the importance of doing due diligence before you buy your land. Do your research. Who really owns it? Who are the real Omo-oniles? Because different people can just pose to be Omo-oniles, so you must do your due diligence.
Yes. That's a very interesting part, because yes, that's a very, very interesting part. That's why I also mentioned that you go to the neighborhood and try to converse with people on the ground there to really know who exactly you should be dealing with. And then you can, I always advise as well that you visit the site of or any property you want to invest in at least 3 to 4 times. You can do it twice, but not once, and try to go at different times. If it's for a built property, well, you could do it on weekends or in the night, so you actually know what the area will offer you uh, before you buy a property on a Sunday morning, and then you realize on Friday night it's the noisiest of zones that you can imagine, and you intend to stay there. So likewise for landed properties as well, you have to try to visit at different times and try to find out. And then when it comes to payment, if it's for massive or a large expanse of land, you if the from the conversations, because you should ask questions, because you know you are the king as long as the cash is in your hand, so you can ask questions and demand to know all the parties that claim to own the land. So if there are more than one, two, three, four, five parties, then you have to demand to speak with the head of the family, while all the other family arms are represented at the same meeting. And if you are doing massive investment in property like we do, that you buy acres and acres of land for development, then when you are paying them, you try to take pictures, have videos, entertain them, let them be relaxed, and take as much of the pictures and videos as you can with.
Thanks for that. I also got something from what you said about the importance, of really taking possession of the land, like doing perimeter fencing, And another thing is also registering the land with the Ministry of Land. Very, 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 very important.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure
are
a lot
key
of people have been, yeah, a lot of people have been enlightened about that. So that when you are trying to buy a land, you must know what to do. Something is also very common these days. You have people that we publish on social media, especially on Facebook, that they are into property, that they are developing this estate. And a lot of people in diaspora see those, postings. And some of them are interested to go back home and invest. They want to build, you know, property, or they want to buy land. How can one differentiate fake from original?
Well, it's a very interesting question because we all do advertise online, and you don't want to be biased against anyone. But the honest truth is that a lot are actually very genuine, and yes, there are scammers. There are people who are out there to also exploit other people. That's the truth. But a lot are genuine because the most real estate companies use a model whereby they have lots and lots of people, professionals, even these days, marketing real estate for them. So you can easily see the adverts everywhere, and actually feel like, so who do I even talk to? It seems everyone is advertising one property or the other because of uh, probably the commissions that are attached to them. So my recommendations will still be to do due diligence on the company, um, search them out, try to know who the owner is. As you know, for bigger companies, you may not be able to access the owner, but at least if you can do a profiling and know of projects they've delivered in the past, and the fact that they are still delivering at the moment, and also try to find out if there are reviews about them, uh, the experiences people have had with these companies, and as well. And then back to the land, the same processes that I talked about earlier, we also have to be engaged. The unfortunate thing is that most people trust the advert so much that they do not do their due diligence. Because while doing your due diligence, oftentimes you'll see the red alerts showing up, and you know when to back out or when not to proceed with the transaction. So everyone still has to do their due diligence as regards the purchase of the land. It's the same steps, exactly the same step. You know, don't assume that it's a real estate company, it's an estate project. You know, I'm seeing lovely pictures of the layout. I can see the fenced it, it's gated, and they won't have Omo-oniles issues. That's the customary owners issues or traditional owners issues. Well, that doesn't tell it all, because sometimes a few projects may have some unresolved foundational issues. So you have to do your own homework as well, especially if there are zones of high government interest, or due to some levels of inconsistency with the truth in our nation. Sometimes they might also have been misled with the wrong information about the status of the land as well. So it's important you still do your own diligence on any purchase you want to make in real estate. That would be my advice, my recommendation. So
Thank you. Thank you so
go to
much.
ask for the document.
Yeah.
Don't just assume it's an estate, and then ask for the document, the title documents they have, and do your own due diligence. And once you're satisfied, you can proceed, and you'll be sure not to regret it.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's very, very important to do that,
Welcome.
because they might just show you a picture or a video. It might not even be their own property, it might not even be the location. So you must really do your due diligence, like you said, and do your research. Is very, very important. And ask around, ask from people that can be trusted. Very, very
Exactly.
important. And also people living in the country. You
Mm.
can also liaise with them and find more information from them. Very, 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 very important. I'm amazed, by, your understanding of business and also life, leadership skills. You have a lot of leadership skills, and you did study science, geophysics. It shows that it doesn't matter what we study, we can always learn, especially when we are lifelong learners. We can know a lot of things. You don't even have to go to university to do MBA before you're vast in these things. You can become streetwise when you're able to relate with people. You learn a lot of things. So I
Yes,
want to
true.
ask you, because I know you're a kind of you're someone that is always studying, someone that is learning. I want to ask you, in the last 5 to 10 years, what are the
Okay.
important life and business lessons that you've learned? We'd like to learn from you.
All right. So I'll first try to say that you should go with um, let me try to summarize it. Okay. Well, I've learned that over the years that, I know there are lots of challenges in Nigeria, in Africa for the young people. And most of these challenges, even though they emanated from the way things are managed in those economies, uh, you still have to be strong and keep your inner mind and foresight, intact, and pursue and have a vision, because vision and have a vision. But and then what have also, so that you can move forward, because when you do that, then you'll be able to achieve something. So that's my starting point. And then over the years, I've just learned that character is a massive collateral when it comes to um, running your business successfully. Most people will always think money first, as a deterrent from pursuing big projects or estate projects of their choice. But character is a massive collateral. It also helps you to keep relationship that will keep business coming. I'll refer to it as a relationship keeper as well. And it's extremely advantageous even when it comes to raising capital as well. Then lastly, I would say one other thing I've learned is that you should learn to keep to good plans. If you have good plans, don't allow anything to take it. Keep to it and pursue it as much as you can.
Perfect, perfect. I really learned from that about the importance of character. Character is very, very important. You know, somebody said that character is what you are. Reputation is what people think you are. You know, you really hit the nail on the head by telling us about the importance of character. That character is a massive collateral. I'm going to tweet that today, and I'm going to say from Remi Adetunmbi, you know, powerful, you know, importance of character, and I've learned from that today. Yeah, I really learned a lot from, you know, from my conversation with you. You are just repository of knowledge, and you're also a man of God. You're a man of
Thank
the
you.
word. You're a man of God. And I remember you shared with me the message you ministered recently in your church that you attend in where you live at the moment. Very, 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 very revelational, you know.
Thank
And
you.
I'm impressed how over the years you are continuing to work strong in the Lord. I pray that God will continue to keep you strong, continue to be
Amen.
with you and your family, and that
Amen.
you continue to be a leader, you know, for the
Amen.
coming generations. I want to ask
Amen.
you, what advice you have for young applicants?
Okay. Yeah, well, like I say, okay, I mentioned while I was trying to
Yeah,
respond
yeah,
to
yeah,
your
yeah,
last question,
yeah.
because sometimes it does look as if things just became challenging. But the honest truth is that every generation always experience their own dimensions of problems, challenges, trials. And we even have such profound statement made by Jesus as well from the Holy Scriptures. Permits me to go there since you made reference that I preached in my church recently. So that in the world you will have trials and tribulations. But he said, I'm paraphrasing now, he said, but keep your head because I have overcome the world, you know. You have to be strong. You have to stay in the world and get things done as it has to be done, you know, especially for you, for your family's sake, even friends, destinies that are attached to you as well. So you have to still have a vision. And there is something I know about vision. Vision has the capacity to see in darkness. So, so no matter how dark it is, once you have a dream, once you have a vision that you want to pursue, God backs you up, God helps you, and there is a way life also parts its darkness for that man of vision to proceed. So have a vision, don't allow whatever is happening in our economies regarding the management of resources or nation as a whole uh, to close your mind totally from nothing God-given ideas and vision. So once you have that, also be resolute in your pursuit of the vision. And thirdly, trust God. Trust God that it can help you because with Him, nothing is impossible, but you don't have to give up. And you have to commit to learning. You have to commit to developing yourself mentally and socially as well. Uh, you know, mentally and socially, especially in this day, in this time. You have to keep learning, you have to keep learning, and you have to keep moving. And as you do that, keep believing as well that your dreams can come true and God is able to rewrite your own story as well if you keep your mind at it and trust Him all the way.
Perfect, perfect. And I also want to tell young people today, in addition to what Mr. Remi has said, there are a lot of opportunities in Africa. Uh, Mr. Remi has gone into real estate and he has been able to make some money in the real estate business. So don't think that because you're in Africa, there's no hope. There is hope, especially if you believe in God. God can open your eyes to see, opportunities in Africa, and you can change Africa. You can be successful in Africa. And I'm hopeful that the future of Africa is bright. And I believe in you, young people. You can do it.
Yes, you can.
You can do it. Yeah, with God on
Yes.
your side, you can do it. My friend, I want to ask you, what's your closing remark?
Okay, well, my closing remark will be that firstly, let me say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to be on this awesome platform that's also featured a lot of great minds because I watched a few of the videos. Thank you for extending the privilege and opportunity to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to close with this illustration I got from a friend. It's a projection that about the size of the land of Nigeria and the population in the land. So if you divide the size of Nigeria, the square meters, in by the population, you realize that it's not everyone. People can hardly have more than, by year 2030, you probably will not be able to have each person. You should divide the land in exact portions for each person. No single person will be able to have probably more than 4 plots of land. That's when Nigeria's population gets to about 230 to 50 million. If you divide the entire land, now we know that won't be possible because we are considering the entire land mass. And so that makes it a necessity, and it's a pointer that real estate value, especially the lands that we consider cheap and far today, as in far away from development, will have so much appreciable value. So you can still try to position yourself, in the real estate sector as much as quickly as you can, because Nigeria happens to be still a growing population, though the second largest Black population in the world, and it's still growing. So it's going to impact on the real estate value. So I'll encourage you that do your due diligence and also still try to be involved in the plan, because you will not regret it if you get it right or get it right.
Thank you so much, and for really telling us about that. I'm really interested in the real estate, and they always tell us something: location, location, location. Especially
So,
property that is close to Lagos. Lagos is the commercial hub of Nigeria, or property in Abuja or close to Abuja. Also there are other good places like Port Harcourt. Nigeria is a vast country, and the future of Nigeria is bright. By the time we get these teaching problems right, by the time we fix the power problem, the other infrastructure challenges, the future is very, very bright. And also, people will also be thinking about the use of renewables like solar. The future is bright. And we're going to
yes,
talk more about that after this recording.
Okay.
I just want to thank. Okay.
I would just like to apologize. I think I called my nation, Nigeria, the second largest black nation. I thought more in terms of population at that point, and next to the black, to the US, but it's the largest. It has the largest black population
In the world. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you, Mr. Remi Adetunmbi, for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this interview with me. I'm so glad that you were able to make it, and thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having
Yeah,
me.
yeah, you're welcome. And to our viewers, you've heard it all today. Buying land in Nigeria, uh, is a very good, investment decision to make. But you must do your due diligence. You must, speak to people that understand the terrain, and so that you won't have future problems. We've learned a lot from my guest today, and I hope that you are really going to, you know, put them into practice. And more importantly, he mentioned something today about the importance of having character. Is very important. Somebody said, character is what angels know you to be. Reputation is what people think you are. It's very important for us to be people of character, to develop character. And to our young people, you've been told, you know, trust God. It's possible. Have a vision. He said, have a vision, have a vision. And with vision and with trust in God, nothing can stop you. I hope you've learned one or two things in this episode. I want to wish you a wonderful day ahead. See you next time. Bye. God bless you.